All right, it's the return of the Zach, the MILF man himself, Zach Wilson, back in at starting quarterback for the New York Jets after getting benched 2 weeks ago. And what a horrible, horrible season it's been for the Jets. They're turning once again to Zach Wilson to try and salvage anything for them. This team went all in on getting Aaron Rodgers, and it felt like this was the year. Super Bowl or bust. The team was good enough. Some offensive line questions, but Rodgers was the guy. He goes down 4 snaps into the season, and it's now on Zach. Zach's the guy. He's got to go get it done. And it's a disaster. It's been awful. He's been horrible. And the Jets really screwed this thing up. It's kind of all on them. They stayed pat before the trade deadline. Wilson had them at 4-3 and kind of a fool's gold. They were talking themselves into, whoa, Zach's doing good. He's getting better. I think the team was just so good on defense. They were running the ball well. And Zach Wilson just wasn't the worst quarterback in the world. He wasn't losing them games. But we've seen this time in and time out from Zach. He's a bust. He's a complete bust. They drafted him with the 2nd overall pick. He's been horrible in 3 seasons with the Jets. And he wasn't supposed to start this year. It was clear they wanted to move on from him. He was going to back up, maybe sit behind Rodgers for 2 years, maybe salvage anything left of this career. But he's come in, he gets them to 4-3. They don't make a move at the trade deadline when there's clearly lots of guys out there that are better than Zach Wilson available. They lose 3 straight. They bench him for Tim friggin' Boyle, who now also gets benched after 2 more losses. They're sitting at 4-8, and the season's gone. It's lost. Robert Saleh's going to lose his head coaching job because he's been super stubborn. He's a defensive coach, and defensive coaches are known for being stubborn and not flexible whatsoever. I don't know how you could watch Zach Wilson play week in and week out and think, oh yeah, this is good enough. And the Jets fans told me themselves, they were convinced, we're not trading for a quarterback. Zach's fine. We got this. We're 4-3. It's a joke. It's a laughingstock. They've lost the locker room. They've lost everything. And when the reports came out that they were going to go back to Wilson after cutting Tim Boyle, thank God, how Tim Boyle had a job in the NFL shows you the nepotism. Aaron Rodgers likes hanging out with him. He was horrible in college. He's horrible in the NFL. By far the worst quarterback we've seen this year. So they cut him. The rumors are returning back to Zach Wilson. And it's like, Zach doesn't want to go back out there. He's apprehensive. He doesn't feel comfortable. Now, Saleh shot that down, said if that was true, he wouldn't be here. We would have gotten rid of him. And Zach is pumped to get out there. He's got to try something. He knows it's basically all over. Maybe the Jets roll off 3 in a row, get themselves to 7-8. And maybe Rodgers comes back for the last 2 games to try and win him stuff. They tried the boost, getting Rodgers opening his practice window, try and give anything to the morale of this team, but it's just not good enough. Zach Wilson is horrible. Oh, he's got a career high in completion percentage at 59% this year, 6 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. It's just awful. And this is a guy who came out of college at BYU as the most confident, cocky SOB there was. I mean, he kind of fooled everybody with that one throw at his pro day workout. Never again, coaches, fall for the pro day workouts. You just kind of trust yourself. Don't fall in love with those throws. Any good quarterback, anybody that's good in college can go make those throws. But this is a guy, and it's very obvious to me when I watch Zach Wilson play, that he just doesn't have, he's got stage fright almost, it feels like. He can make big plays. He's athletic. The Jets do a horrible job of using his athleticism to their advantage. Read options, anything. Nathaniel Hackett is a different issue. Clearly one of the worst offensive coaches in this league now that Matt Canada's fired. He's probably the worst. But it's a guy who doesn't have confidence. He has stage fright. The game feels like it's too big for him. He just panics. He is not comfortable. He's not calm, cool, and collected when he's back there. And he makes really simple mistakes. He doesn't make the easy throws. You got to make layups in the NFL. You can't miss the throws that the defense gives you because you don't get many opportunities. And Zach seems to miss them way, way, way too often. Now, he'll make a big play now here and then, pushing the ball downfield, but it's just so much bad with very little good. And I think he needs a totally fresh restart. Maybe he backs up somewhere. It feels like the guys kind of like him, like he's not a bad locker room guy. He's not Mac Jones out here, who's a dumpster fire in the locker room. So Zach could have potential for having a backup career, and maybe he gets some of that back. He just needs to maybe go see somebody, man. It's like he just has stage fright. He panics. Like, he'll drop back, take the snap, and he's freaking out. He's panicking. And I don't know, it's a disaster for them. But the Jets are trying to save their season, trying to turn it around. A year that had all the hope, all the optimism in the world, fooled them into thinking that they had a shot, and now it's a bumbling mess. This is what you get. You go all in on a 40-year-old quarterback. He could get injured. He's probably more than likely than not to get injured. You don't make any backup plans. You don't make any precautions. I mean, look at all these other teams. Jake Browning, clearly a backup in Cincinnati that's good enough to go win football games. Josh Dobbs was a good backup in Arizona before getting traded to Minnesota. It's like, you got to go get backups. Gardner Minshew is revolutionizing the backup quarterback position. The man's got a winning record in like 20-plus starts as an NFL quarterback. That's an elite backup. You just have to be prepared for these things. In a league that feels like 10 of the 32 starters like shouldn't even be on, maybe even more, 12, shouldn't even be on a roster, and they're the starting guys, and then you have backup quarterbacks on teams that feel like they should be the starters. Things are a total mess across the league, and people are just, I feel like it's a buddy-buddy system that they're like, I need to have a right guy in the locker room. Like, no, you need a damn good quarterback, especially a backup. Guys are dropping like flies left and right. There's something going on with the injuries to these quarterbacks. It's the lack of training camp. It's the lack of preparation. I think it's the constant working out in the off seasons. On top of it, your body's never getting a true rest anymore these days. But the Jets all coming down to the Texans at home this week. Must-win game. Texans not a great pass defense, but they don't give up a lot of touchdowns. So we'll see how it goes for the Jets, how it goes for Zach Wilson. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did the Jets screw this entire thing up? Should they burn it all down? Maybe get rid of Rodgers even and he'll retire and call it quits. Can Zach Wilson ever become a starting quarterback in this league, or is he just done? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already, click that thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. New videos every single day. If you want to support the channel more, hit that join button, join the channel memberships. Really helps me out, allows me to keep making this great content for you every single day. You get access to early content, exclusive content, badges, rewards, emojis, stuff like that to use during the live streams throughout the year. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.